welcome back to Jash's Kitchen. On today's menu we have something that is easily modifiable. The ingredients are fairly simple, and this is a great meal for meal prepping. It's easy to sort of cook everything all at once, and then you've got yourself dinner and lunches for the week. So let's get right into today's ingredients. So today we're actually making a blackened shrimp bowl with roasted veggies and quinoa. So our star today is going to be some shrimp. I've got about a pound here. They are with the tail on and they're peeled. Next we've got our base, which will be quinoa. You can always change your base and use maybe brown rice if you'd like, or even just sort of have this with a salad. It's really good. Next, for the vegetables, what I have here today, I've got myself a sweet potato, and I've got a red and a yellow bell pepper. I've got red onion, 1 carrot, a lime, some stalks of broccoli, a ripe avocado. Then for the seasonings, you're going to need some cumin, some onion powder, garlic powder, got salt and pepper, smoked paprika, or you can use sweet paprika, or even cayenne pepper. Then for the quinoa, I will be making it with some chicken broth. You can also use veggie broth or just water. And last but not least, I have got some olive oil. That's pretty much it. So again, as I said, you can always modify the ingredients, add some more, take some things out, switch things up, your choice. It's a very quick and simple meal, so let's get started with the vegetables. Okay, so I did say we're going to start with the vegetables, but we're actually going to marinate the shrimp so that while we cut the vegetables, the shrimp can stay in the fridge and sort of marinate for about up to half an hour. So I will put all of the specific ingredients in the description below, but I like to freehand things and just go with the flow. So right now I'm going to add in some onion powder, some cumin, and with seasonings too, you can always adjust it to what you and your family likes. You can add a little bit more, a little bit of less of certain ingredients. Some smoked paprika, some garlic powder, next we're going to add in some salt, and some pepper. There we go. So we're just going to shake this around, coat them all up. I'm going to cover and refrigerate for about 30 minutes while we get our vegetables prepped. Okay, so I'm going to start with the sweet potato. Now this is optional for today's meal, but you're just going to peel it and dice them into small pieces, and I will show you exactly what I mean. Alright, so I'm just dicing, actually just cutting these into 4s, just so that I can get the size that I want. I kind of like everything to be about the same size, bite size, so that if I get a nice forkful or spoonful, that I'm not, you know, chowing down on a big brick of sweet potato. Plus, for cooking, it'll actually help things cook evenly. So once you're done with your sweet potato, just place it on a lined baking sheet, and we'll get started with our next vegetable. Next, I'm going to head into dicing my red onion. Now, if you can see, this is fairly large, so I'm actually just going to use half of this. If you have a smaller at home, a small one should be fine. And you're just going to dice this in about the same size as the sweet potato. So you want them sort of cubed, maybe a little bit smaller. One quick thing we should probably do before we continue cutting our vegetables is actually get our oven preheated. So preheat your oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Hopefully by the time you're done prepping all your vegetables, the oven will be ready for you to slide them right in. I personally just chose the red and yellow onion just so that I had a variety of colors, but as I had mentioned earlier, decide what kind of vegetables you want. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to follow this recipe to a T. It's all about preference. Alright, so the veggies are all done. Just look how beautiful and colorful this is. So now our next step before they go into the oven, now that our oven is preheated, so we're just going to drizzle some olive oil on top. Then you're going to add in a few of the seasonings that you added to the shrimp. So we're going to add some salt and pepper. And we're going to add in some of that paprika as well. We're just going to add in some garlic powder. And lastly, one ingredient that I actually forgot to get is some Italian seasoning. So if you have dried oregano, rosemary, some thyme. So let's add a sprinkle of this. Awesome, let's give this a good toss, and into the oven it goes. Now another option to cook today's meal, something to make it a little bit more, a lot easier, less dishes, is if you actually put your shrimp in with the vegetables. So the shrimp that I got were the uncooked ones. You can always add that on top of the vegetables and put it in the oven so that it cooks at the same time. If you've got the cooked, the pink shrimp, you would just put the vegetables in for about 20 minutes, take them out, add the shrimp in, and cook for another 10 to 15 minutes until they're ready. So that's just a simpler sheet pan dish, but today I kind of want that blackened shrimp, so I really want it to cook nicely on the stove. So that's what we're doing today. Anyways, let's get these vegetables into the oven. Alright, so I've got my timer set for 20 minutes, and we're going to check on the vegetables. Hopefully they will be ready. So our next step, we are going to now prep the quinoa and the shrimp at the same time so that everything sort of comes together at the end around the same time and it's all done. So we're going to use 1 cup of quinoa. You can use 2. If you're going to use 2 cups, then you're just going to double up the water. Or the chicken broth. So today I'm going to do 1 cup of quinoa and 2 cups of this chicken broth. So the trick that I've sort of learned over time that I realized is that you should rinse the quinoa. Don't know why I never did that, but it makes a difference when you're making it. So that's what I'll do today. Okay, so I've added my quinoa to the chicken broth, so we're just going to let this boil at medium-high heat. Then when it comes to boil, you're going to lower the heat and let it simmer for about 15 to 20 about 15 minutes, 12 to 15, depending on how cooked you want your quinoa, and then we'll cover it with the lid off the heat. So pretty much according to package directions. So while this gets done, I'm going to start heating up my pan for the shrimp. Okay, so we're going to add in about a tablespoon into this pan for our shrimp. So put them in a single layer in the pan, and we're going to let them cook for a few minutes on each side so that they are nice and blackened, like the name says. So while the shrimp, vegetables, and quinoa cook, we can actually get started with sort of stuff that we can top your bowl with. So today I've chosen some lime and ripe avocado. So you're just going to quarter the limes, and you can squeeze it on top of the shrimp once you're done. And the avocado, you're just going to slice this in half and then sort of make long cuts down the middle to serve. So I'm going to do that while my shrimp finish up on the one side. Alright, let's check in on our shrimp. There we go. So this is what I was talking about. So that's what it should look like on the one side, and you'll flip them over, and we'll want the other side to look the same. Okay, so just an update of where we are. After I should flip the shrimp, they were on there for another 3 to 4 minutes. So now they are ready. The quinoa, I've taken it off the heat. It is simmering with the lid on. And I've also checked the vegetables, so I'm just leaving them in there for a few more minutes as the sweet potatoes are finishing up. So that's where we are. Alright, our food is finally prepped, so now it is just time to plate. So you're going to add in the base. So my base is quinoa today. You can use your brown rice or whatever you want. So add some at the bottom. We'll add in a mixture of the vegetables. Just want to make sure that you get a little bit of everything. Some onions, sweet potato, some of the bell peppers. Let me grab a couple of these. Alright, and then we're going to grab some of our shrimp, throw it right on top. And then lastly, just gonna add in some avocado. Getting a little messy here. That's fine, it's my food. And some lime. So what you can actually do at this point is drizzle some of this lime juice on top. And bon appetit! There you go, you've got your quick and easy, meal prep friendly blackened shrimp with roasted vegetables and quinoa. Bon appetit!